You're not going to believe who just called me. You are not going to believe who just called me in the conversation we just had. Now, I was actually, I was in the bathroom at work for a second, and my phone was ringing. I didn't have a chance to answer it. So, I went back to my desk and saw that Pastor Dowell had called from his cell phone. And I missed it, so I didn't have a chance to call him back yet. I was getting ready to call him back. And I had my computer up. I was just in the middle of something, so I was just finishing that before I called him back. And the phone rings again. I looked down thinking, oh, maybe it's Pastor Dowell again, because I didn't answer it a second ago. I looked down, it says private number. I'm like, man, as long as I've had this phone, I haven't got a private phone call just yet. But let me just see who this is. Is it Bank of America looking for their mortgage? You know, my payment? Nah, they don't call private. Oh well, I'll play devil's advocate. Yellow. As soon as he started speaking, I knew what voice that was immediately. I thought it was a recording at first, until I answered back, and he answered back. Couldn't be a recording. I'm thinking to myself, no, this particular person didn't just call me. Oh, J Snip 4. No way. But let me back up before I tell you who it is. Now, some people would argue that God had a hand in myself and Pastor Dowell meeting for some greater purpose. You know how things work out sometimes. Two completely opposite people who very much need to be connected for some reason or another are just connected out of nowhere. I'm not religious. I wasn't going to church. I have no reason in the world to be messing with Pastor Dowell, his church, his belief, anything, period, because I've been so far away from that, and I'm focused on other things. But this guy's talking about gold and silver and preparing. Next thing you know, I told you the whole story. We met. We spent a little vacation. Took a way out of the vacation to go to see him for a day. We just planned on spending a couple hours at best, and we ended up staying for a whole day and a half. It was fantastic. We loved everybody there we met. We still love them today. No different. I mean, just everything's great. Went back. He flew me back. I brought some equipment to hook him up with his wireless so he can broadcast church service live for people, his blog talk stuff. And, you know, I'm so glad I could do that for them, for him and his people there. I love them, and it was great dealing with them, meeting them, listening to them, hanging with them, the whole 9 yards. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, did God do that? Is there really such a thing as that happening? You know, oh, it was the providence of God. Like Lindsey Williams said, it was the providence of God. Right? You know how he always says that? It was the providence of God that Lindsey Williams was sitting in front of those elite in 1972 or 3 or whatever year it was he was there, and heard them say what they said and the whole 9 yards. You know, and I'm thinking, is that just a coincidence or not? Because, you know, so I'll stop there, and then I'll refer you to my video yesterday. And in my video yesterday, I said even Pastor Dowell may be a little upset. He may want to punch my mouth loose for saying what I'm about to say, and it was in regards to prayer. But the gist of my video was that people who pray for nonsense, people who pray for materialistic things, how dare those idiots even use the word in prayer itself to, you know, please let my sports team win. Please let me win so I can win $1 million. And these other people, they're not worthy, let them lose. As if you're even allowed to pray for something like that. I mean, can we get real? Now, the other issue was that I did, in the same video, I said, here's a prime example of not someone who's selfish, that deserves for God, so to speak, to answer their prayer. And I gave the example of my wife's friend's mother, Christian lady, my wife's friend, the daughter is Christian, go to church literally, religiously. They're good people. They're nice people. They live right as far as I can tell. I have nothing bad to say against them. There are churchgoers, whatever you want to call them, true to the game. And she got on Facebook, I have cancer, everybody pray for me. Everybody prayed, saw all the, you know, we're praying, we love you, get better, you know. Hey, my cancer's cured at work, thank God, thank Jesus, praise the Lord. And then a month later, oh, I got it again. But what about the prayer? What about all that stuff? You even said it, you know, it was a miracle. God, you know, healed you. And then the next, they got it this time. It's thanks for praying again. Then the third time, we're on the third time as I'm doing this video, by the way. The third time, she got cancer again. Well, that's because you keep going back and doing chemo and all that stuff. I mean, honestly. But I wanted to use that as an example to say, you know, because in the back of my mind, even people who pray for the proper reason, like this lady, I mean, is it wrong to pray to get healed? You know, you're a fellow worshiper of God and Jesus and the whole 9 yards, and they live their life right. They're not bad people. Many times I could tell you they do the same thing. These people over here, they go to church, they do this and that, but they're snakes. You can tell, you know, they live, look how they live their life, look how they do it. They're bad. But these people are good. So why weren't their prayers answered? That's the point I was making. If prayer works, why does people do it? And why does it work sometimes but doesn't work other times? And if you just remove prayer, the same statistics seem to apply either way, whether you prayed or not. And I mean, I kind of had a feeling maybe I don't know, I'm not going to say I upset Pastor Dowell or anybody, but they may look at me and say, you know, old Joe, he doesn't know yet, you know. Old Joe, he's going through his phases of learning, or, you know, he's talking nonsense right now. And maybe that's true. But at the same time, and this is nice, I'm going to tell you who called me in a second ago. This is going to be a little bit crazy for you. And it's also going to be a little crazy in my mind because of what I just said about prayer, what I just said about this whole thing. Is it real? Does it work? I just got a phone call that may have to shut me up on that for good. So today I go to eat lunch with my buddy. We were going to go eat lunch yesterday, but he couldn't make it. Usually he always can make it. I mean, we'll know in advance. No, I can't do it tomorrow. Let's do it Thursday or Friday. We were going to try yesterday. It didn't work out. We didn't have lunch. And I don't think I did my video at that time anyways to tell him about it. So, or did I? See, that was Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know if anyway, so today we go and eat lunch. We're talking about stuff, all, you know, as we always do when we eat lunch, about the economy, what's going on, silver, the whole 9 yards. And we bring this up. And as a matter of fact, he brought it up in some other respect, which led me right into, hey, you should have seen the video. I don't know if you saw my video from yesterday about prayer and this and that. And I gave him the whole 9 yards about the game Survivor and these idiots, you know, thanking God because they won. But then when they lose, they don't thank God. First of all, you can't be asking and praying to win a freaking challenge. God's not going to be unfair to the other team. It's clearly not right. So, you know what I mean? It'd be like, God, you're the referee, but you can also step in divinely where we can't see it. We want you to let us win. That's wrong, right? That's like rigging the market. So that was the main point of my video. But I did get into the second part of my video of, well, let's cast the wrong reasons aside and let's cast in the good reasons that you should pray. And how come it doesn't appear to work always either? I'm a man searching for knowledge, searching for the answers, and I don't get them sometimes. Matter of fact, it seems like all the time when it comes to religion. Where's my sign, God? Where's my sign? Whatever. I've prayed sincerely in my life. Are you kidding me? You know, in times, of course. And not for stupid nonsense reasons, by the way. Did it ever seem to work? Well, no. I mean, I can't tell any way, one way or the other. I mean, so anyways, I apologize for bouncing around, but I gotta tell you the whole story here. It's critical, so that you know exactly what I say next is why I said that in the surrounding details. So we're talking today at lunch, my friend and I. I give him the whole scoop about Survivor and these idiots praying for this and that and the Ultimate Fighter, and he's like, yeah, you know, the same thing. He talks about it, and we're like on the same page on that. And he's like, you know, and some of the religious people, they just want to throw their views on you no matter what. And you know, I don't throw my views on people. I wish they would not do that to me sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean by that, you know. But we were on the same page as I was last night about, well, what about prayer? Does it really work? People who deserve it and they pray, it doesn't come true. Then what? It's not God's will. It was this time, but it's not that time. Got cancer 3 times, but you know, we're just having a discussion. We're trying to figure this out. And our conclusion is that, well, it seems like it doesn't really matter. Now, having said that, before I got Lindsey Williams' new DVD, before I even heard him speaking about what was coming in the DVD, the new information he's given out, you know, a month ago or 2-3 weeks ago, whatever it was, I'd been in the back of my mind thinking, remember that video I mentioned to you guys about this Jonathan, whatever his name is, about him reversing the dollar bill The new $50 bill shows the Hoover Dam, what appears to be the Hoover Dam, breaking and destruction, all the way, raging waters right down, it's right on the back of the new $50 bill. The old $50 bill, which I believe was pre-1996, shows the same image, except it has a barrier at the top holding the water back, in a nice peaceful flowing water, nothing bad at all. The new $50 bill shows that top piece completely broke off, raging water, out of control, and it looks like it's even smoking in a couple different sections, as if it was just destroyed. Maybe that's water rushing out, or smoke, it was hit with a bomb, there's no telling. And he made that video, and I said, I've followed the guy a few times, but some of his stuff is pretty deep. It's hard to stay with him. But when it comes to the dollar, making the dollar just like you did the Twin Towers, upside down triangle, flip it around, whatever, and you look at the $50 bill, I was pretty shocked by what he showed. And then I went and saw the sides, the little ovals on the sides of the dollar, of the $50 bill, and it matches the ones at the Hoover Dam. And then I look at the statues that are at the Hoover Dam, and they're these crazy, weird, angelic things with wings. And then you got the guy, which appeared to be like Atlas holding up the world, but there's no world. He's just crouched down, and if you just remove his head, basically, it looks exactly like the satanic freaking goat head thing. I mean, spitting image, this crazy. That can't be by chance. There's no way. So I've told you guys, check out this guy's video. This is pretty darn interesting, one way or the other. I'm not saying that I believe 100%, but man, every other major thing that's happened in this country has been caught on the back of the dollar bill. Every major terrorist attack, big problem, is right on the freaking dollar bill. This one hasn't happened yet. And just like 9/11, that image was on the $20 bill or whatever it was, long before that event ever happened, years before that ever happened. So they're just telegraphing, I think, in the near future, that's going to be our next target. So I thought to myself, man, I wonder how the heck I could contact Lindsey Williams directly and just run that by him and ask him if by chance the next time he talks to his elitist friend, could he run that scenario by him and just see what his response is. And maybe that's too deep for him to even tell Lindsey Williams yes or no, and he may just tell Lindsey, I don't want to talk about it. Or maybe he'll tell him about it. Yeah, it is planned, it's going to happen, etc. It may tie into his whole Devil's Messiah thing, who knows. Man, I'd love to run that by Lindsey Williams and just have him ask this gentleman, what is that a possibility? Why is it on the dollar? Pry for some information. But how? I can't contact Lindsey. I have no way of knowing how to contact Lindsey. I did not pray that I would find a way to contact Lindsey. It's just been on the back of my mind for days now. A few weeks ago, and every few days it comes back in. Man, I'd love to run that by Lindsey. How can I do this? He has no website. I have no contact number. I'll never get through the Alex Jones show to ask him. I've sent emails to Alex Jones. They're so busy. They get 1 million. You never really get a response. And not that he's going to tell me how to get a hold of Lindsey anyway. So I'm like, man, well, whatever. So I left that alone. Now, my phone rings today. A few minutes before I ran out here to do this video. Private number. I almost thought about not answering it, but if it's some kind of collector, I like to play games with them. But then I realized, well, I have my mortgage, but again, it's not Bank of America. I don't owe any money to anybody else. I'm debt free as far as that goes. What the hell? Hello? Hello, Joseph? This is Lindsey Williams. I needed to call you today to tell you something. I've been waiting for it's his prophecy club thing leaving a message for me. And he said something to where I had to respond. Yes, this is Joseph. And then he went on and said, okay, and called me by my name again and talked for a second. And he mentioned that he wanted to personally thank me for buying his DVDs, and that he wanted to let me know there was appears to be a little slight error on DVD 1 and DVD 2 that the editors missed, and they have to add a lot more information apparently or something like that to the DVDs. So he wanted to let me know to be prepared for a new package of DVDs, the first one and second one, it's a 3 DVD set, to come in the mail, and there'll be some new information or information that was left out that meant to go in there that wasn't. And I'm thinking to myself, I know his voice, that's absolutely Lindsey Williams. You couldn't fake that voice if you tried. And he's not a recording, it's him. He's physically picking up the phone and calling me. So I had to tell him, Lindsey, I said, I appreciate you calling me to thank me for buying your DVDs, but may I thank you for calling me, not for you thanking me for buying your DVDs, but I want to thank you for calling me so that I can actually thank you on the phone right now for what you've done. I found your first DVD from 2006 about the non-energy crisis, and that prices would be going to $150 per barrel. I bought that DVD in 2007. I bought another set from you a while back, and I just bought this third set. And I said, thanks to you, you're one of the reasons that got me into research in some other areas and decided to start buying silver back in 2007. And I've been buying silver since then. With every little bit of money I get extra, it goes into silver. And as you and I know what the prices were then versus what they are now, I want to thank you for that. And he was very grateful and told me, you know, he appreciates me saying that, you know. And I said, Lindsay, I got about 400 something, almost 500 videos now on YouTube. And when you speak and you come out here with these predictions, I immediately usually will come on there and do a video response or a summary of what you're basically saying to my followers, my subscribers. And for example, when you said the Middle East crisis was coming back in October 2010, long before any of that stuff happened, just like you said it would, I did a summary telling my people that were following me at the time, this is what Lindsay Williams said, check this out. And sure enough, 4 months later, as you already know, you were dead on right. Everything you say comes to pass. And everything that you say, I repeat through my own subscribers, and thus I am correct because you're correct. And he says, well, I'm glad that you're correct because of my information, because you know what these guys say is going to happen. So he was mainly wanting to just talk to tell me about the DVD, that, hey, we're going to send you a couple new ones. Everybody that I guess ordered it, I'm assuming he called them to tell them, and I was on the list too. But I said, I'm talking to Lindsay Williams right now. What was that I wanted to mention to him again? Oh yeah, Lindsay, I want to run something by you if you don't mind real quick. And you don't have to call me back or anything like that. Maybe the next time you get out on the air and start talking in a month or two or whatever it is, and you have some new information, if this ends up being new information, maybe you can talk about it then, or even hint around if he told you not to talk about it. Maybe you can just give the little bit of beat around the bush view of something, what I'm going to tell you may happen. I said, you know how on the dollar bills you can see the Twin Towers, the Pentagon attack, all that stuff? He said, yes, my son has done that, and he showed me with himself folding these into the triangle thing. And I'm like, yes, sir. I said, look, there's a new $50 bill that's been out for several years now, apparently, that replaced the old $50 bill. And I said, now you know everything that's you flip these dollars into has already happened. Major event in the United States, big attack, big problem. It's all there. These things were forecast well in advance on the dollars, on the money. I said, I've been watching a video recently that made me do a video in which a guy shows a new event that appears to be going to be taking place. And Lindsay Williams was pretty interested to know what it was. So I went ahead and continued and told him this. Basically, the old $50 bill shows the dam. It's nice and calm. It's got a little barrier at the top. And then the new $50 bill, that barrier is completely busted and broken. Water is raging. Looks like two smoking things or some kind of holes with rushing water, destroyed. It's got the little pillars on each side that have these oval shapes. And it looks like a dam is being completely destroyed. And he said, well, where do you think this is going to take place at? I said, Lindsay, the guy that I got this from is already pretty sure it's going to be the Hoover Dam. And I said, if you will look at some of the statues and things that are there currently, they are very occult, weird angelic guys with wings, and the Atlas. I explained the Atlas thing, and if you just put your thumb over his head, if you're looking at a picture, it's the beast, whatever, goat head satanic thing to the T. And all that stuff. He's like, I know what you're talking about. I've personally visited the Hoover Dam, so I know what the pillars and the things you're talking about. And I said, just like the Twin Towers, one tower was hit just above the center point or so. The other tower was very high at the top. In the $20 bill or whatever dollar bill that was that depicted the Twin Towers getting hit, it was dead in the center, just like the one tower, and the one right next to it on the same freaking dollar bill, it was high hit, and they're both smoking right in the exact impact zones. That is not able to happen by chance. I don't care what you think or how crazy this sounds. As I say, truth is stranger than fiction. There's no way that's a statistical, just anomaly. No way. Everything on these dollars that you flip into the triangle, again, Illuminati triangle, upside down, flip it up, there's your symbol. And now we have a new symbol of a dam breaking that has not occurred yet. And the Webbot, for a long time now, has been forecasting a major dam. They were not sure where, what continent, what country, just a major dam breaking causing utter devastation. They thought it was the Three Gorges, whatever dam in China. There's an earthquake in that area. Oh my God, is it getting ready to break? It never broke. Okay, well, couldn't have been that one then. So we're just sitting back here waiting to see what it is. So I didn't mention the Webbot to him, but he was definitely very interested in what I had to say, and he is going to ask his elitist friend those questions. And when I spoke to him, I told him that I was wondering recently, how in the heck could I contact Lindsey Williams to share this information with him, to see if he can contact his elitist friend the next time he talks to him to ask him this question. I said I had no way of figuring out how to contact you. And he said, well, you know, I'm contacting you today, and I'll tell you how this just came about. And you could guess what he said next. It was the providence of God. And I know it's funny when he says that, by the providence of God, by the providence of God. But here I am, literally a day ago, basically, talking about, does prayer work? Does this work? Does God work? And this and that. And I didn't pray. I didn't pray. So part of you could say, see, there's the statistic. You didn't pray, and some coincidence happened. At the same time, you could argue and say, God is still listening to you. You don't have to pray. All of you people who pray, don't even pray. Just live your life right. God's watching. And when he sees that you need something, he'll give it to you anyways. You don't have to pray. And is that what JSNP 4 just received? Did JSNP 4 just receive, by the providence of God, a godlike intervention, something just take place in my life? I bought his DVD not the last one, but the one before that. This is the third time I've bought something from Lindsey Williams. You know, as many DVDs as he's probably sold, when you call in to buy them, they have an actual crew of a few people on standby, operators standing by to take your call. That's how it always is. Why couldn't he just have one of the operators call back? Hey, you made a purchase, sir. Yes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Two DVDs are coming. We want to replace the old ones. There's a couple things we missed out, and we want to make sure you get the proper information. Oh, great. Thank you. Lindsey Williams himself called me. And again, he's probably calling everybody that bought one of the DVDs. And while everyone was telling me, don't waste your money, $60-something on a DVD, you're an idiot. Even Bozo Beast, the famous arch nemesis, Bozo Beast, has picked on me for wasting $60-something on, I think it was 65 or 69, I don't know the exact total, on these DVDs. He laughed, he made comments, right? And you might even rightfully say so. Joe, why did you spend money on a stupid DVD? You already got the information. He was already on the radio show. For the reason I told you, I wanted to buy it. I felt like I owed it to him some way or another. That's why I did it. This man has been giving phenomenal information. I want to pay this man back. And if he wants gold and silver for himself, which he's been collecting, he's debt-free. I don't care. That's my tithing, so to speak, to someone worthy. Just like Pastor Dowell, you think I charged him money to set up his internet stuff and to hook everything up? No. And for one thing, he flew me out there, fed me, let me stay out there. I did all the work, everything, handled it, done. You think I'm going to charge that man? That's my tithing to Pastor Dowell. I set up his website. I host his new website. I let the streaming come to my streaming server, my bandwidth. You think I charge him for that? No. You could look at that as my little tithing for Pastor Dowell. Why? Because he's worthy. Even if he wasn't religious whatsoever and was just another person and even hated religion, let's say he did. Let's say Pastor Dowell, I just hated all religion and didn't live like that, but was still the man he is. You could still call it a tithing or whatever you want to call it. This man's worthy. He's getting it. He could use it. He's getting it. Lindsey Williams, whether he could use it or not, I appreciate it so much. I want to buy your DVD. I want to have a physical object that shows For people in the future, here it is. It's dated. Look at the date of this DVD. I'll put it in. Check out the properties of this file. Boom, here it is. I've had this DVD. As a matter of fact, would you like to see the one from 2007? I've got that here too. Check this out. Copyright date. Not copyright, because none of his stuff is copyrighted, but you still see when it was created. Here you go. Can't argue with that, can you? Can't say he didn't predict it. There it is. Now, if you want to pull a bozo beast maneuver and claim you did and have nothing to back it up, well, that's, you know, your prerogative. So here I am sitting here, really starting to wonder now, was that the sign from God or whatever you want to call it? What are the chances? Again, I'm a statistical guy. Statistics, you know, the whole 9 yards. So, because I am, I also have to say, what are the statistical possibilities that old Lindsey Williams would call me? And it's nothing more than pure science, mathematical equation, not God, not divine, not nothing. And I have to ask myself, what are the chances of that? After I just got done basically bashing the opposite view of that yesterday or day before, whatever it was, in my prayer video. And Lindsey Williams himself said to me today, by the providence of God, you and I are talking about this right now. And he listened and was very interested to know what I had to say. He doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. He doesn't know my YouTube name. He doesn't subscribe to me on YouTube. I didn't tell him my name on YouTube. We didn't get into that. We got to the meat and potatoes of the discussion. And at the very end, he's finished off saying what he originally intended on saying. I just want to let you know we are shipping you some two DVDs. I'm so glad that I spoke with you today. And I am even gladder, if that's a word, than he is that we spoke today. Because you could say, oh, your prayers were answered. But wait a minute, I didn't pray. But at the same time, was there some force, some life force somewhere, spiritual force, listening in, knowing this, and just put us together somehow without, you know, the old word faith? Gotta have faith. I hate that word. I hate it. Y'all have faith, hope and faith. But, how the hell can you explain what just happened today after, specifically after I come out here and start talking about prayer and this and that, and then my conversation with my buddy today at lunch wasn't, I mean, we did focus on the people who pray for nonsense, but we also went right into people who pray and legitimately need a prayer answered. Why aren't they being taken care of? Why isn't God listening? You know, these are good people. The whole 9 yards. I don't know the answer to that. And that's what we were talking about. So we kind of just wrote it off as, well, why do people pray? Why are you wasting your time? It's dumb. You know, just don't pray at all. So again, we're left with in a little bit of a predicament. I didn't pray, and it just happened. So those of you who wonder, do I have to pray? Maybe the answer is no, you don't. Stop praying if you don't feel like it. At the same time, this was a non-prayer, but it was answered as if kind of like it was a prayer. I was wanting it, I needed it, but I wasn't sitting there on my bed, you know, eyes closed, hands in prayer position, or like this, or anything. I was simply thinking about it. Man, how can I get in contact with him? How can I make this happen? And I could not come up with an answer. I tried to, there's no way I can do this. Man, I don't know where he lives, don't know how to get in touch with him. Man, how, and that's how I left it. I didn't even once say, God, you know, I'm your humble servant, or God, you know, if there's any prayer you answer, can you just answer this one? I didn't say anything. It just happened. But at the same time, before you say, well, see, it's just a coincidence, it just happened. When you take into what I just went through over the last 2 days, the prayer thing, the video I did on YouTube, exposing prayer and this and that, only to have the providence of God man himself, Lindsey Williams, with his patented saying, by the providence of God, and then he used that providence of God saying on me live on the phone. He pulled an O'Reilly. Well, do it live. You ready, Joe? Yeah. By the providence of God, I called you today. Seriously, though. I think I may have just had a little bit of a weird wake-up call. A wake-up call that I never expected. That I would dismiss in 5 seconds. Religious nonsense. I don't mess with none of that stuff. Prayer, I don't do that either. I'm happy it happened this way, because I just answered I feel weird when I pray. Like, I'm sitting here, my eyes are closed, and I haven't done that in a long time, by the way. There's nobody here. Like, God, where are you? Are you listening inside my head? Like, you feel weird. Like, is this really absurd or not? Like, I feel kind of dorky, weird when you do it. So I don't feel comfortable doing it. But for those of you out there who don't feel comfortable doing it, and you don't do it, I might be the testament for that, live, right now, just happened, and yesterday, basically, that you don't have to pray. Nothing bad will happen to you if you don't pray. God, the spiritual world, angelic realm, whatever your belief system is, the God figure in your belief, whatever it may be, doesn't care if you pray or not. Doesn't care what religion you even belong to, and possibly even if it's not the right religion. Here I am, not belonging really to any religion, just by myself, and just had an experience, potentially, I guess, that people involved in religion would love to have themselves, to put that together and say, oh my God, you'll never believe what just happened to me. God just worked a miracle in my life. Check this out. And people probably pray for that to happen to them. They pray for it and it doesn't happen. Here I am, not praying, don't pray, don't care to pray, looking and analyzing. Prayer doesn't work. Statistics say it doesn't work one way or the other. It works this time, it doesn't work that time. And I may have been able to answer that question yesterday, which is still possibly valid. It doesn't matter if you pray one way or the other. Something is either going to happen to you or it's not. You're either going to get in a car accident or you're not. It was either your time to die right now or not. Had nothing to do with God or anything else. It was just a statistic. But what are the chances, again, of all this little thing happening to me? And isn't it amazing that I get to share it with you guys on my YouTube channel? Many of you who had beliefs like me, God and the religion, not necessarily God, but the religion, and I don't mess with none of that nonsense. And something just hit me. And even if God isn't what we think it is, and we'll find out in another 1,000 years from now what he, she, or it is, which who knows, I'm just throwing that out there. Whatever it is, doesn't care what we think or what we think we know about it, and will take care of us if we take care of ourselves and take care of others. Which, by the way, if we did read the Bible and lived by the 10 Commandments, I think would be sufficient to fulfill that. So here I am, bad-mouthing religion, bad-mouthing certain things, even people who pray at times, right? Did God strike me with lightning? No. Did he make my car tires go flat while I was driving? Nope. Did he make an evil spirit appear and whisper in my ear? Nope. He sent me a sign that I can't deny now. My dad is going to come over and punch my mouth loose. Literally. My dad is now going to come over to my house and punch my mouth loose. He'll probably call me first because he won't be able to wait to come over and punch my mouth loose with excitement. Because at the same time, I think it was yesterday, my dad comes over. And let me go ahead, since I'm on the religious discussion, I'm going to share my whole life story with you with yesterday. I told you a while back, my dad was on the way to the casino. He likes to spend like anywhere between $5, $10, $15, $20, no more than that, and bet 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents. Oh, I'm up 40 cents, back down 2 cents, right? He'll last an hour to 2 hours with the same $20. Meanwhile, the guy next to him, $100, 2-3 minutes later, gone. $100, 2-3 minutes later, gone. My dad's 2 cents, 2 cents, just having a good time. But again, if you were living the path, right, whatever you want to call it, you know you sent me going down to the casino, right? Can we be real here? Christian view, the whole thing, you really know you shouldn't be on that path. So my dad claims, oh, I found $180 in the parking lot, which he did, and that was God's sign to me. You don't need to go gamble your money to get money. You need money, I'll answer your prayers, and here's $180 on the ground. Go ahead and go home now. So my dad came in yesterday, because I mentioned that the other day, in the same video, I think. So my dad comes in to do the vending here, and says, Yeah, I watched your video where I was telling you guys about his nonsense about finding $108 on the ground. He still claims it was, you know, it was God. Trust me, it was God. It was a sign. So I said, how could it be a sign? You shouldn't be there to begin with. He's like, maybe I was just getting off path, and God was sending me a sign, get back on path. Here's your money. You don't need to go here to do that. Here's your path. He's like, you know, if you want to compare someone like a raging alcohol, I forgot what the example he used, but, you know, someone raging bad guy that constantly knows in advance, I'm going there, this is bad, but I don't care, I'm going, I always do it. There's a difference there. He shouldn't get the $180. You know, God's not going to give him the $180. I said, Dad, you didn't just go there once or twice. It was like your 7th or 8th time in 2 or 3 weeks. I know you're spending $5 to $10, sometimes 20 or whatever, but for God's sakes, you've been doing it out of control at that time frame. You did it several times in that time frame. He didn't really have a response. But he still claimed it was God. So, was it? I don't know. All I know is what I just told you about me. And I gotta tell you, this is pretty incredible. My wife is gonna be pretty shocked too, because my wife and I are on the same page of everything. This can't be explained by coincidence. This cannot be explained by chance, by my logical chance crunching numbers mind. There's no way this just happened today. I mean, you should have seen my face when I thought it was a recording. I thought it was a Lindsey Williams recording. It was going to state something, and maybe it would have been his DVD thing where we're going to replace 2 DVDs, or hey, I've got a new DVD set at, you know, something, a little sales pitch, I don't know, something. And then he stopped. Is this Joseph? Yeah, you're speaking with, that's me. Okay. Same voice, Lindsey Williams. He already said it was, hey, this is Lindsey Williams calling. We started talking. I was talking for about 15 minutes probably. Very interested in what I had to say. I appreciate that. Very sincere. Wasn't trying to just sell something. He's a salesman, you idiots. Salesmen don't give a crap what you have to say, especially when a crazy conspiracy on a freaking dollar. He was very interested in what I had to say, by the way. Even though I told him I found the video that explained all this, but I'll go ahead and tell you what it was all about. He was very interested. I am quite sure he's now going to ask that elitist, just like I asked him to. And I said, you don't necessarily have to call me back. I'm not going to ask you for your phone number or anything like that. You can, sir. I said, Lindsey Williams, anytime you ever want to call me and talk to me about anything, even about this stuff, feel free to call me. I will always answer the phone if you call. And he said, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But, you know, he has no need to call me. For God's sakes, he's the one giving information. I should be calling him, you know. But anyways, I had to come out here and share that with you. I'm sitting here, mind still trying to kick in. It was a coincidence. It was a coincidence. That was just a coincidence. There's no way it was a coincidence. It was by the providence of God that I just spoke with Lindsey Williams. And that's the truth. And that's the truth straight way. Old J Snip 4 has got some serious thinking to do right now. And I don't think there's any other way to put it, but what conclusion can I come to right now? God doesn't exist. Prayer, again, forget prayer. I just proved that prayer doesn't matter. And I may have just proven that the man upstairs, so to speak, doesn't care whether you pray or not either, and recognizes this is a great individual down there doing the right thing, trying to wake people up, trying to help his fellow humans. Here I am, Mr. Volunteer, which I never told you about, with the local sheriff's department, which I'm not going to get into in my videos. I'm not law enforcement whatsoever. I am still that same J Snip 4 you come to know. But I'm giving back to the community in the volunteer position that I hold. That's all I do. Someone asked me the other day when I did my video, I had my little shirt hanging, had the little badge on the side, and I was like, he's like, what's that hanging in your back of your car? I said, it's a volunteer. He said, what kind of shirt is that or something? I said, it's a volunteer. But I'm not about, I mean, you might ask my wife and she'll say, a lot of times, you buy stuff, it's always for you. You buy stuff, it's for you. I do, but in my eyes, it's like stuff I need. It's not really I mean, sure, you could argue wants and needs. Do you need a laptop and a computer? Well, no. But man, it sure makes life easy sometimes when I have both, you know, my laptop and I can bring it. Stuff like that. But generally speaking, humanity, or whatever you want to call it, human to human speaking, you know, I care about people. I want to help people. I stop to help people in my car. Whenever I stop to help, I do it now, and I don't have to put gas in my own car. I get to drive one of their, they have a particular vehicle I get to drive. But I don't have to waste my gas. I still get to help people. I enjoy helping people. I get to talk to people, tell them things. We discuss things. Talking to a guy last night on an accident call. We started talking about the economy, and well, Jay Snip 4 let him in on a few things. He started talking back. Yeah, great. Hopefully I lit something under him regarding silver and gold, as I mentioned to him before he left. Right there on the side of the road, car accident I had to respond to. So, you know, I'm not a selfish person, and I may have told you before, when I was making money, hand over fist on the internet. I explained this before. It doesn't work anymore, so don't contact me asking how'd you do it. It doesn't work. It's done. But when it was working, I gave my parents a $100 a day website, or actually between $80 and $90 a day website, every day, 30 days a month, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, etc. $80 to $90 a day. Gave my sister a website, $80 to $90 a day. Gave my best friend a website, $80 to $90 a day. Gave my wife's mother a website, $80 to $90 a day. Guess what I asked in exchange for me giving that to them? Guess what I told them they had to give me? You hear that? It's silence, isn't it? I asked for nothing. I didn't want anything. I felt almost obligated. I'm getting this money so easily at the click of a button, creating these little websites that are a joke. I gotta spread the wealth. I almost felt obligated. Like I have to just do this. And I did. And then I needed a fence on my backyard. A nice little wooden fence. Guess who came over? My brother-in-law. My sister, right? We're gonna do this for free, of course. You gave us thousands of dollars. By the time the site's ended, many thousands of dollars. For free, basically. So we would gladly hook you up with this fence. And they did. So anyways, it's just kind of who I am. Probably no shock to you since I'm doing these YouTube videos and I don't appear to be asking you, do you see a donate button under my YouTube page? Donate if you like JSnip4. Please donate. Yeah, I could use the money. I could use some donations, but I don't need the donations. I'm okay without the donations, and I'm not going to put a donation button on my YouTube page. I don't need it. You will recall on my website, realistnews.net, I do have Google ads, and believe it or not that they make hardly any money, but it does give me a few bucks every month, you know, several bucks, whatever you want to call it, every month, as a little bonus, you know. So, if by chance you're on my website, and you happen to see an advertisement that catches your eye and you're interested in it, then go ahead and click on it. Don't just go to my website and start clicking all the ads to get me, you know, 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever, per click. Because someone's paying for that. The other party who's trying to sell something has to pay for that. It's not Google. So, in all fairness, I appreciate you guys because you do it, and I can see it already because every day I log into Google AdSense, what you know, how many dollars are in my account, you know, a few dollars, whatever, but it works, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna end this video now. I'm a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie that this just happened, and I gotta have to talk to my wife tonight. If she doesn't already see this video by the time I get home, I have to. This is just crazy. So I'm sorry for rambling on. Oh, and one last thing he mentioned to me, which we didn't even bring up. We were just talking about how he's always been right, and he said, "Let me tell you something regarding gold and silver." Out of nowhere, he just kind of cut me off for a second. He's like, "Oh." He says, "Don't you worry one bit about these movements in silver and gold. They go up, they go back down, and back up, then they're way back down. Don't you let that bother you one bit. The prices of gold and silver are going to be going way up." He assured me of this. It's going to happen, so don't you let this little period of time bother you. It's going to go way up. I said, I know you said that, and I trust you. You've been right so far. I have no reason to believe you won't be. And then we went on to talk a little bit more. And that was it. So I gotta go now. And it's funny because I think I'm gonna call Pastor Dowell and I'm gonna say, "Brother, was this conversation that you called me a minute ago on the cell phone, did it have anything to do with my video on prayer? I have to ask you up front. And if he says yes, I'm going to say do not contact me until you watch the latest video I've uploaded. Trust me, call me after you watch the last video I uploaded, which is this one right here. Because OJ Snip 4 may have just done a major 360 on that one, or 180. Based off of what I just told you happened. This is crazy. Anyways, love you guys. Appreciate you. I love you guys. Some of you guys send me stuff that I don't catch sometimes. That's good news. Someone sent me some stuff today. I meant to do a video earlier about Europe, and I haven't done it yet. And I mean, on all honesty, markets rally. Big rally yesterday. What about today? Markets are down. The next freaking day. And did I not tell you in the same video I was talking about Bozo Beast, how he fails to make any predictions? I said, I'm going to make another prediction right now. This little rally will be extremely short-lived. Here we are the next day and it's already over. Isn't that amazing? Bozo Beast, where's your video claiming that something in advance? You don't have it. So anyways, I'm not going to sit here and call out Bozo Beast anymore. I've really said all I had to say. You can see what kind of guy he is. I went to his video and looked at all the comments now that are killing him. No one's really being nasty to him, really, but they're letting him know he's a bozo. And that's the bottom line. So I'm not going to continue doing this nonsense videos about me and Bozo Beast and this kind of thing. So I just want to share that with you. I'm going to run now. Have a good day. Take care.